I'm Duncan McLeod, and this is the TechCentral Show, TCS. Subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/TechCentral. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and you will always be notified when we publish a new episode. Alternatively, you can subscribe to our daily newsletter that goes out at 5 a.m. every weekday morning. You can do that at techcentral.co.za/newsletter. Now, Alex Thomson is in the TechCentral studio. Alex is co-founder and CEO of Naked Insurance. And Naked has just secured $17 million in a new funding round, a Series B round, that, if my maths is correct, is about 300 million rand at the current exchange rate. Alex, welcome. How many fundraising rounds has Naked been through now?
Well, this is our first kind of numbered round. So we did a Series A in August 21, and this is our Series B. We did have some seed funding before that, but this is, I suppose, the second major one that we've done.
Right. I'm always intrigued when startups talk about fundraising rounds and they talk about Series A and Series B. What does that refer to exactly?
That's a really good question. I have actually no idea. It's just, there seem to be certain benchmarks in terms of the size of the business, like the revenue or the customer count that you need to hit to be able to close a Series A, to be able to do a Series B. So, for example, Series A typically is around the time when you're establishing product market fit. Around about that sort of time you can do your Series A, and Series B is more in the sort of scale up. Yeah, when you're sort of really trying to grow the business. Okay. And I guess that's the phase we're in.
There's probably some technical descriptions for what Series A and Series B means. So I'm going to go look them up after our discussion, because I'm genuinely interested in finding out. Because I hear these terms all the time and don't actually know what they mean. But we're going to get into this Series B fundraising that you've done in a moment. But let's spend a couple of minutes talking about Naked Insurance and its background. I first spoke to you, I think it must have been about 5 years ago, when you were just getting started. Why was the company founded? Who was it founded by? And what's it trying to do differently? And what is a pretty crowded insurance market?
Yeah, so myself and my two co-founders, Sumri Khreber and Ernest North, we've got a background in the insurance game in South Africa.
You're all actuaries, aren't you?
Yeah, we actually are all actuaries, yeah. And in fact, mostly consulting actuaries throughout our careers. And that gives us great access as a consultant to most of the industry. And in working with a lot of the leading players in South Africa and actually around the world, we saw these common themes, right? These common themes that insurers are really struggling to use technology effectively. And we saw a lot of opportunity in that space. And then also the customer relationship, between the insurer and the customer was generally very poor. The reputation, if you survey different sectors, insurance is always like right at the bottom or near the bottom. And so I think we just saw that there was a lot of things changing, so whether it's the sort of rise of social media, information flow leading to, companies need to be much more careful about their reputation, and of course changes in technology and what that can do in the insurance game. So, seeing those sort of things, we saw that there was going to be a big shift in the insurance sector, and I guess that's what led to us starting it.
You're right, and there's been this concept of insurtech that's risen up with the whole sort of fintech environment here in South Africa and worldwide. You say you have an AI or artificial intelligence-driven business model. What does that mean exactly?
Well, when we looked at this, we realized that what the real opportunity was here was not just to do a distribution play where we sort of wrap an insurance sales process into an app. It was really to re-engineer the whole value chain of delivering insurance, right? To be able to use data better, to be able to use automation to allow customers to self-serve more and improve the sort of speed and convenience. And of course, to do that, there's a lot of intelligence you need. There's a lot of things which typically have been done by brokers or by call center agents, and we wanted to be able to, for the system to be able to figure out what to do itself, right? And so we saw AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning as being really critical to the companies that would ultimately succeed in the insurance game in the long term.
Right. So to take me through how exactly it works as a Naked Insurance customer, how does it work? Do I go to the website and engage with some sort of AI chatbot?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you can go onto our website, you can download our app, and there'll be a nice lady called Rose who will ask you a few questions. I mean, it's really quite simple. We focused a lot on making this something which is understandable for everyone. And you go through a few questions, you get a sort of summary of what the cover will be. You can you can customize that cover. I mean,
and there's no humans involved except for the customer.
Yeah, no, the customer's doing it themselves.
You're right.
And you get to that point, and that you can do in a minute and a half. You know, it's very, very quick. You know, contrast that against the typical sort of 40-minute phone call that you know people are accustomed to, and from there it's as simple as entering your card, choosing a start date for your cover, and you know, you're done. That's your insurance in place.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that we really wanted to make that, as I said, something really simple, really accessible to anybody out there.
Okay, interesting. So you just ask a set of questions to the customer, and then the system makes a determination on what the premium should be based on where the person lives, their age, etc.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, look, we do enrich that data, you know, so we access various external databases, and that gives us a sort of a good understanding of the risk profile of the customer, which we use for pricing.
Now, I know this is perhaps a little bit of an aside, but everyone's very excited about ChatGPT at the moment, and I've just got early access to Bing Chat, the new chat model. And it is fascinating, very powerful technology. In fact, I've used it to write a few headlines on TechCentral in the last couple of days, and it's pretty good at it. So sub-editors, watch out, I think. Yeah. But you guys have AI at your core. You've been watching what's happening with ChatGPT and the investments Microsoft's making and the stuff that Google is doing? Is this stuff that could enrich the work that you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's these kind of technologies that we anticipated in the beginning as being things that would change the game, you know, as I think ChatGPT is likely to do in many different industries. And, you know, so I think with insurance specifically, I don't think ChatGPT is going to be the sort of pivotal answer, but these kind of generative AI technologies, I think, offer massive potential. I mean, for example, you know, we offer this model where people can do it for themselves, where they can self-serve. And that is something where, you know, if you can ask a question and get a really informed answer, it allows people to make better decisions about their insurance and ultimately, you know, to take control of their insurance in a way they haven't been able to in the past.
Okay. Who's your typical client? Does it skew younger because it's tech-based? Yeah,
I mean, certainly in the beginning, you know, our sort of early adopter was a younger customer, more tech-savvy, but it's really broadened out in the last year or two. You know, so we're starting to see now really the mainstream consumer, you know,
now comfortable
signing up with us. Yeah, I think they've sussed it out for a while, and now they're seeing it, feeling a lot more comfortable. Yeah, but still probably slightly younger than average that you'd see in the insurance industry.
Sure. I'm amazed how quickly consumers can actually adopt to different technologies depending on circumstances. I recall before the COVID pandemic that many consumers were scared of using tap to pay at the point of sale with a card or their phone, worrying about the security implications of this. COVID hit, and suddenly 100% of people, everyone's tapping.
Absolutely. So it's the same thing with insurance. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people were like, no, I'm never going to buy insurance without speaking to somebody and that sort of thing. And it's really changed. You know, we're really seeing thousands of people signing up like that.
So by automating a lot of the processes and having computers do things that people in the past would have done in a call center, does it mean cheaper insurance? Is that the main draw card for consumers?
Certainly, it's one of the big ones. I mean, look, just the convenience itself of being able to do everything very quickly, we've seen as a big appeal. People are really tired of dealing with call centers. But yes, of course, what that means is that we're taking, you know, cost out of the process of producing the insurance, and that allows us to offer very competitive prices.
Right. Okay. Now you're aligned with Hollard in some way. Just remind me what the relationship is there.
Well, so we have. I mean, Hollard is a shareholder of ours.
Okay.
So we've got a long-term relationship with them, and we also are underwritten by them. I mean, what that really means in practice is they provide a balance sheet guarantee on our claims, and
which is a regulatory requirement.
Which is a regulatory requirement in the insurance industry, and it does give people a level of comfort that there's this really massive company sitting behind us.
Yeah. And what type of insurance do you offer? Short-term, obviously. Any other types of insurance?
Just short-term. So I mean, it's really insurance for cars, homes, you know, your contents at home, and also cover for things like cell phones, laptops, bicycles, jewelry on a standalone basis as well. So it's really, you know, what we're trying to cover is what households are looking to insure from a non-life insurance perspective anyway. Yeah.
But you could insure a computer, for example. You don't have to insure your entire household.
Exactly. Yeah, you can choose what you want
mix
to
and match and do this. I know some traditional insurance companies won't insure you based on a single product. They'll say, okay, no, we'll offer you insurance for your household, but not if you want to insure a specific item.
That's right. I mean, we've seen, particularly younger people don't really understand that. Like, why do I want to insure like everything that I have, my clothes and books and things that, I'm really just concerned about my iPhone, maybe my Xbox or whatever it is, So just pick the things you want to cover and cover those only.
Right.
But I mean, typically as people's assets grow, it just becomes a lot simpler just to buy sort of a bulk, contents policy, and then everything's covered.
Do you stay in the short-term space only, or do you have aspirations to offer other types of insurance eventually?
Well, with this fundraising round, it certainly does give us a lot of potential to expand, and and certainly one of the things that we are going to be looking at and moving into is other product lines, and I mean, life insurance is a possibility down the line.
Okay, good. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Series B. It's $17 million, so certainly not chump change at all. You've raised it from the International Finance Corporation, which, if I'm not mistaken, is part of the World Bank.
Correct.
They invest in private sector businesses in emerging markets mainly. And the German Development Finance Institution. Why development finance organizations?
Well, I mean, they're looking to help stimulate businesses in markets like South Africa. They're looking to try and improve competition. They're looking to try to support organizations that I think can make a positive difference in society. And I think what they've seen in having a close look at our business is that we are able to reach a part of the market that the traditional insurers have found quite difficult to reach. Obviously our price points are good. The technology allows us to do that, and so I think they're extremely excited about the potential for Naked to really make a positive impact in the country and and in other markets around the world.
Okay, great. So $17 million. What sort of runway does this give you until your next funding round?
Well, I mean, as you'll know, I mean the investment markets at the moment are not in the best place from a fundraising perspective, anyway. So we'll certainly make sure this gives us a good runway,
right?
And we'll certainly look after the money. It sounds like a lot, but we'll be taking good care of it and making sure it stretches.
Right.
But yeah, I mean it gives us the ability to really deepen our commitment to our customer, improving our platform, taking a lot of the things that we set out to do. I was talking about that, sort of re-engineering of the value chain. So things like making the claims process, I think our claims processes are really extremely good, but making them even better, making them faster, further integration of artificial intelligence into our claims processes and really throughout the system. So there's a lot of work, in terms of hiring additional people in the sort of ML and AI space,
right.
and then a lot around expansion and growth is really the major focus for the business at the moment.
Do you have a call center at all?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We certainly do. So if people self-serve, but along the way they do need help. So if people have got questions, if they want help with something, we're there. So we've got and we just don't do like outbound calls to try and sell business and bug people like that. So we don't do anything like that. It's really all about the customer and helping them to be able to to get the insurance they need.
Okay, and hopefully making it a little bit less of a grudge purchase, because let's be fair, buying insurance is very much a grudge purchase, isn't it?
It is. I mean, and it's been one of the most gratifying things in what we've done is just the positive, views and sentiments that have come out of a lot of our customers. Just contrasting it to what their experience was before to what it is now. And I think the other thing that just coming back to what the IFC and so on are looking for is that it has allowed us to reach markets that haven't been reached before by simply by virtue of the fact that a lot of people have got quite a lot of distrust and don't want to deal with call centers and aren't confident that their claims are going to be paid. And we have seen a really positive shifts in that space. A lot of it through referrals, people telling their friends, like, I've had an amazing time with Naked. And that's been, it's one of the most gratifying things for a founder of a business like this.
Why did you call yourselves Naked?
Well, I think it follows from what we're trying to do, doesn't it? We believe a lot in transparency, in being really upfront about what you're getting, what you're covered for and what you're not covered for. We don't want that to be a surprise at claim stage. We want everything to be transparent, and I think Naked really captures that sense of what you see is what you get.
Right. Okay, so you mentioned the claims process. I wanted to maybe just touch on that briefly as well. You spoke about the sign-up process and how that's automated. If when you go through a claim, is it similarly automated, or do you call the call center?
No, we've done a lot of work in making that process very seamless. I mean, a lot of it's actually been released in the course of the last year. Okay. So yeah, you submit your claims on the app. And then we'll actually, ask you. We've got this really cool. Well, insurance nerds think it's cool. This really cool sort of intelligent engine that'll figure out what needs to happen next on the claim. So you'll get asked for additional information if that's required.
Yep.
And in some cases, the system will just figure out that this claim is 100% legit, and we'll move it on straight away. Mm-hmm. So it's an area where we think we've moved like well ahead of anybody else. And we want to go even further.
Okay. Yeah. So the system will flag up if it thinks there's fraud or a potential claim that's not justified. Yeah. And then you'll have people investigate that further, possibly go and have a look at the
that's true.
Conversation with the customer, etc.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, part of making insurance sustainable and being able to offer really good value is to be able to pick up when there is dishonesty that's in play within the insurance space. So we've got a lot of analytics and AI is used in that space as well. Yeah. So and that is really, really important in making sure that the honest people, most of us get a really good deal with insurance.
And with your AI technology and pattern, I guess you're doing pattern recognition based on, we know that this is fraud usually occurs in an instance like this.
Yes.
So let's investigate this particular instance further. Yes. Whereas in other instances it would be, this looks legit because, this is our typical claim, this profile of person, or I don't know if you can go down to that sort of level, but you're able to determine where you should flag something up. Quite easily, I imagine, through the software.
That's right, and like a big part of it is actually being able to get really confident about people who are really legitimately honest, and where you can trust everything that they say, and that you can then give them an incredibly smooth ride.
Right.
So that I think one of the big problems is that because most insurance companies don't know which are legitimate and which aren't, they sort of treat everyone as though they might be not legitimate,
yes.
Right? And of course, we occasionally will do that because the system is not perfect, right? Sometimes it'll be a little bit unsure, and then we'll put them through a process. That does happen, but we are increasingly able to distinguish really well up front, and then to sort of send people down the right paths.
Yeah, I guess that in the claims process where customers are treated as if they might be trying to trick the insurance company is where the customer loses faith and feels unhappy about the service they're getting because you as the client are now being treated suspiciously, even if your claim is entirely legitimate.
Yes. And sometimes it's easy to tell, so obviously, and sometimes it's not. You may have a completely honest person who signs up today and then claims tomorrow, which, from an insurance system perspective is going to look a little suspicious. Yeah. So they're likely to, go through a bit of an investigation there to be sure, and they could find that a bit frustrating. But I think that is the right thing to do. And, but obviously once a customer's been around for a long time, we've got to know them, we understand their behavior, then it's much easier for us to give them a really good experience.
Okay. So let's come back to the Series B round. Apart from the IFC and the German Development Finance Institution, your two original investors, Yellowwoods, who are they?
They're a private equity firm that owns a lot of Hollard and Nando's and many other businesses in South Africa.
Okay. So Yellowwoods and Hollard are participating in this round as well. Is that correct?
Right. That's right. Yeah. So they, which is also, it's really great for us because they've walked a journey with us and they feel confident in the business to be able to actually continue to invest in the business, which is really good to see. And they've been, both of them have been remarkably good partners for us. I think without them we wouldn't have got to where we are so far.
I was going to ask, are they active investors?
Yeah, they play just the right level of involvement. Right. They get involved when it makes sense, but they're not. They're not driving the agenda. They leave that to the management team to do. But when we need support, they're extremely good. Yeah.
And the IFC and the German Development Finance Institution, what's their investment model? Are they going to be actively involved, or are they passive investors?
I think look, these are international firms. They've got a breadth of experience. They're invested in other businesses like us around the world. Right. So they've definitely got value to add. And we're looking forward to working with them. They've got a very high quality of individual that works there. That I think that can undoubtedly add value to our business.
Okay, and then just lastly, Alex, you've spoke about the fact that you're going to look to new hires, that you're going to potentially develop new product lines. What else are you planning to do with this expansion? What does naked insurance look like 5 years from now?
Look, I think mostly, if you think about the South African market, we're looking to become, one of the leading, if not the leading, non-life insurer or personal lines insurer in South Africa. So that's really our primary focus at the moment. We're seeing a lot of opportunity in this digital form of insurance. But we're also looking outside of the country. We do see a lot of potential. We benchmark ourselves very well against leading players internationally. And so we are sort of tentatively exploring some options outside of the country as well.
Okay. Do the traditional insurance companies see insurtechs like Naked as a big threat? Are they trying to retool their businesses to be more tech savvy?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they recognise that there is a bit of a transition going through here, and look, we've had some of them copying what we do word for word, to try to. It's I guess it's a compliment, but equally, I think it is also challenging for them to run two different kinds of businesses in parallel. Their call center businesses have always done very well historically. You have a totally different process online. It can be complicated to explain it to a customer why they're getting two different prices, and that sort of thing. So I think they're figuring out some of that still, and their systems are quite old in general, and they've got a lot of work to do. But I wouldn't write them off. I'm not saying that at all. I think they'll remain very strong businesses. We've got a very strong insurance industry in this country, and we enjoy being part of the sector.
Yeah, fantastic. Alex Thomson is co-founder and CEO of Naked Insurance. Thank you so much for spending the time with TechCentral today.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks, Duncan.